Hello, everybody. Hello, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the second day of our No Yelling Challenge. We are calming the storm of yelling in these 5 days. Or rather, we are learning to calm the storm of yelling and replace it with 10 tools that we'll be sharing at the end of this challenge. How are we all doing? How is everybody doing? We had a lot of network issues yesterday. Some apps were not working. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, all the apps associated with Facebook, and we weren't able to access some WhatsApp messages till this morning. So I think it's being rectified gradually. So welcome everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. For the sake of people who are still meeting me for the very first time, my name is Vivian Annie, and I'm the founder of the Proactive Parents Academy. In these 5 days, which we started yesterday, we'll be sharing on why we are yelling, what are the possible effects, what are the causes, rather, what are the effects, and we'll be replacing them with 10 other positive tools to avoid yelling, screaming, shouting, and making our parenting chaotic, to be able to build the kind of relationship we want to have with our children, so that we can be able to position ourselves to guide them properly in the world they are going to be living in. So welcome to day 2. And today we are looking at the reason why we are reactive. So if you come into this session, do let me know that you're here with me. Say a word, say a hi, say a hello. Let me know that I'm not here alone. I want to be sure that you can hear me loud and clear. So if you come in, say hello, say hi. So today we are looking at um, the reason why you are reactive. The reason why you are reactive. The reason why you are reactive. I want someone who will be putting down all that we'll be sharing today in the comment section. The reason why we are reactive. There's something I've come to realize that parents do often. I was on that journey myself. I was on that path myself. Like I shared yesterday, if there's anybody who you know that is a yeller, it is me, a very chronic one. I also learned it from my father. My daddy was a chronic yeller, So, like I shared yesterday, is a cycle, and there are patterns we learn, behaviors we learn. We don't even know how, and we pick it up and it becomes part of us. So I also picked my own. I didn't know I had it until I started my journey as a parent, and it became reflective. That's how all the things we picked growing up patterned us, and it becomes a behavior that became how is it called? It became a behavior that became reflective. So it's being seen in our adulthood, and we didn't even know we had it. So one of the things I have also realized is that we pick these patterns unconsciously, and before you know it, it has become um, it has programmed us also, such that we use it to program our children. One thing I've realized that we do very often as parents is reactive parenting. We become very reactive when issues come up. We start jumping up and down, we start flaying up, we start getting angry without even understanding what am I supposed to do, without even thinking through. Without It's an unconscious thing. I understand it because I've been there. It's an unconscious thing. So it's very, very common with parents, and because it's unconscious, we keep doing it without even knowing that is a pattern we have. So today, while we're looking at why we are reactive, why a child misbehave, we want you to start thinking in your own process, think out of the box, and put yourself in the picture while I share all of these things, so you can understand that there's something that is beneath your reaction. One primary reason why we react when we are confronted with issues or a misbehavior of a child comes up or anything comes up, one primary reason is because you are not emotionally stable. You're not emotionally stable. Um, you can't even all the time be emotionally stable. You are a human being. You can't be emotionally stable at all times. Emotions are not bad. Emotions are valid. Every emotion is valid. What is the problem is what to do with the emotion. You get angry when a child misbehaves. Perfect. Nothing wrong with that. It's valid. You're supposed to get angry. In fact, if you don't even get angry, it's an issue. You get angry when a child did something wrong, it's fine. When somebody talks to you in an unkind manner, in a very unempathetic way, no empathy, no compassion, agreed, you should get angry. What the matter is what do you do with this anger? And that's what we're looking at. Because once we get it right from the home, once we get it right with the people we are relating with in our homes, we'll be able to get it right in other relationships we're building. Because the truth is, our children are learning how to build every other relationship from the relationship they have with us. Our relationship with them gives them the picture, or rather points to them how to build relationship with other people. So you're the number one teacher, you're the number one mentor, you're the number one coach, you're the number one everything for your child. So every influence comes from you. You are the number one influencer, you are everything to your child. Now, when we react or become reactive with our children, it removes us from being the number one everything that I have just mentioned for your child positively. You become, instead of being a positive influence, you become a negative influence to your child without even knowing. That's not your intention. And that's why I say that no good intention is enough to see you through your parenting journey. No, no good intention. We all have all good intentions for our children. No parent that doesn't have good intention for his or her child. No one. No one. Not even the most, how do I describe, should I say the most wicked, the most whatever negative name you can associate with the kind of parents that you have ever seen in life. Even that kind of parent has the most beautiful good intention for the child. But good intentions are not enough if you don't put it knowledge, if you don't put it, if you don't put skills that you're learning, if you don't put um, if you don't put understanding in all of the things you're doing. So you need to understand at each level of your parenting what you need to do. And you cannot understand what you don't know. It is when you know it that you can understand. That's why knowledge is a, a fundamental requirement for you to parent peacefully, for you to parent with purpose, for you to parent with goals, for you to parent with um, welcome, Jane. Thank you for joining me. Good morning. Thank you. Yes. So if you don't understand why you're reactive, you become all of those things that, yes, Jane, you're the number one influencer to your child. Emotional instability robs you off of the privileges that you're supposed to have on your children because you are the influencer. In fact, I am working on a book that I I want to put out to my audience why you are the number one influencer of your child and how reactive parenting can rob you off of all of this, the way Jane put it. It can rob you off, So instead of you to influence positively and impact, because you can only impact somebody who are influencing, positively or negatively, you are doing all of the influence. The question is, what are you influencing, or how are you influencing, positively or negatively? So when you don't understand why you are, that you need knowledge, you need grit, you need resilience, you need understanding in every phase of your journey. My challenges now with my preteens is not your challenges with your teenager. It's not your challenges with your toddlers, depending on your phase. So you need knowledge to be able to do all of these things, to be able to put it together. So in every level, you need knowledge. In every level of your journey, you need knowledge. Now, because you don't have the knowledge of what you should do, you may be also rubbing off on your good intention. And I said, one major reason, the primary reason why you flare up at every provocation, and even beyond your children, go out to be reactive on other issues, is because you're not emotionally stable. Emotional intelligence is one thing you need. You can't parent any human being without being emotionally stable. You can't do that. Emotional intelligence is one thing you need to parent effectively. Emotional intelligence as a parent is one thing you need to parent effectively. And if you're not emotionally intelligent, you will make a mess of your journey, because everything you're doing as a parent hinges on your emotions, hinges on how you use your emotions, your ability to use them respond, or your ability to use them to react. Everything. Because you cannot take away the fact that you are raising a human being, and you are raising young children. Children, they are not adults. No matter how good your parenting style, your intention, your goal, your what, no matter how beautiful they are, your children or your child is a child. It's not an adult. So if you're not in, if your emotions are not in check, you're going to make a mess of everything you're doing in parenting. So you must be emotionally stable, emotionally intelligent for you to be able to do parenting in today, even anytime, and get it right. All the people that have been privileged from my young age to see parents or to have conversations with parents on, how children tend to, or how a child has become rebellious, or become revengeful or resentful. And from my findings and the researches so far, I have seen one major reason is because parents the parents of whichever generation it is not of a particular child, is not emotionally stable. You're not emotionally intelligent. You're not in check of your emotions, and that's why you snap off in provocations, when they get you angry, and sometimes you even transfer it outside your parenting. Like I said yesterday, outside my parenting, I got to a point in my life and I saw myself nagging over everything. I was nagging at my husband. I was nagging at situations. I was nagging at everything. You know, the job I was doing at the time, I will nag like everything is offending me. And it is because I did not understand that my emotions were not in check. And so from the parenting, I was transferring it. That's how it goes aboard every other thing. So it took me years to be able to work on my emotions, put myself on a journey, put myself in a process to be able to be where I am today and watch things happen calmly. No matter what it is, I watch them happen calmly and then think through the process to be able to create solution to it. So one thing you should understand today is that you must be you must be emotionally stable for you to do this work. Anger is not bad, like I said, but how do you manage your anger? Emotional intelligence teaches you one thing as a parent. I put down here that emotional intelligence teaches you to pause. One language I have learned in emotional intelligence, that I have learned from the founder and the author of emotional intelligence, Goleman, Daniel Goleman. One thing I've learned with all the researches he has done over the years, and with all the things he has taught about emotional intelligence, because emotional intelligence is the umbrella carrying everything you're going to do as a human being. Emotional intelligence helps you build relationships that are stable. Emotional intelligence helps you stay calm in situations. That is for you as an adult. For a child, emotional intelligence helps a child to focus. Emotional intelligence helps a child to concentrate, helps a child to operate on higher functions, like we discussed yesterday, helps a child. You see, when a child lacks concentration in class, they become restless. They are not just emotionally stable. That's the truth. You need to understand, our network went off. You need to understand that your emotions are the way you express your own emotion from the way you talk and the way you do things is the first place to teach a child emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, yes, Jane. Parents should be emotionally intelligent. Keeping your emotions in check would help your relationship with your children and every other person. Exactly, exactly, Jane. That is just it. The moment you understand the place of emotional intelligence as a parent, you have you have you have gotten it almost in everything in life, because it will help you in your place of work, in your parenting, in your marriage, in your relationship with people, in your own personal life, in your health issues. Everything hinges around emotional intelligence, rather. Everything hinges around your stability, your emotional stability as a person. And there's how do you teach your child to become emotionally intelligent? It is from the way you talk and the way you react, the way you act when issues come up. There's no place, you can't call a child and say, sit down, let me teach you emotional intelligence. You need to be emotionally intelligent, you need to be this, you need to be that. No way. The only way a child does that, learns to be emotionally calm, to be emotionally stable, is from the way you exhibit your own emotions. I give you a practical example. So many years, some couple of years ago, when my children were quite younger, in their toddler ages, 4, 5, and all that, I I saw my daughter, who is the first. I have 4 children, and the girl is the first, and she has 3 brothers. And I saw my daughter always shouting, always screaming at the top of her voice. And, sometimes in the course of, having issues with her brothers, her immediate younger brother is a very kinesthetic child and always wanting to touch and hit people and all of that. And it didn't go down well with the sister. They were always fighting. My daughter will shout and scream. And I'm like, what's wrong with this child? Why are you always screaming? But while I was doing that, I will also correct her at the top of my voice, at the topmost of my voice. And I didn't even understand that I was contradicting myself. You're saying, why are you shouting? And you're the one also, but showing her how to shout by shouting. So are you now saying the contradiction? So she cannot express, or she cannot talk to her other siblings calmly, because she has not seen me talking calmly. She has not seen, sometimes my husband is more on the calm side. He's a melancholy, of course, they are always quiet and all of that. And so he sometimes also snaps, and then the children see us all the time at the top of our voices, talking and all that. And then you're telling the child, you need to talk to your brother calmly, you need to talk to your brother politely, all of that. It's not going to work. There's a contradiction in that message. So my daughter was only shouting, and I had to sit down and I'm like, what's going on here? You know, in 2014, when I took the first courses on emotional intelligence, I literally was screaming at myself like, God, what have I done? Thank God for Jesus Christ, and thank God for knowledge, and I'm able to do a U-turn. I started into another clear journey. You know, Jane says she can relate to that. You know, I started another new level. After that 2014, I gave birth to my third child at that time. So I had to sit down all through the time I was nursing my baby. I was taking those courses. I was reading. I was like, God, is this what I've been doing? So yes, Jane, is usually our cases. So I understand it when parents say, I have been telling them, I have been teaching them. How are you teaching it? Your communication is key. How are you passing down the communication? How are you getting them to understand, by your voice, by your communication, by your action, by your body language? All of these things constitute your emotional intelligence. So if you are still at the point where you're saying, but I'm doing all of that, I've been able to teach my children, but they don't still adhere to this and that, I can tell you for free that your communication, the voice, the body language has not portrayed calmness, has not portrayed stability. And that's why your children are still jumping up and down when they want to correct their brother or their sister, any siblings of theirs, or another person they hit, they do. I have done all of that. Before my first son talks to you, he's already hitting you, in anger. He's already hitting you. But today I'm looking back and I'm like, God, thank you very much, because I can so relate with parents who feel overwhelmed with all of these things. I relate so much with them because I have been in that shoe. Before you tell me, I understand it already because I've been that place. Before my first son talks, my goodness, at age 3, my first son hits everybody, holds you grip, before he can share anything. He can't even say anything. He's furious, he's angry, he wants to revenge, he wants to hit you back, and all of that. So it took my calmness to be able to show them by example how to be calm when situation arises and think through what you want to do. Emotional intelligence teaches you one thing, like I said, pause. And when you pause, what do? You now act with feelings and thinking. You act with feelings and thinking. Jane, you can put this one down, it's very important. You act with feelings and thinking. If you're not thinking, then you are only going to act with feelings, which is reactive. You're going to only be reactive, and what your reaction going to cause you is going to rub off that good intention you have. You're telling the child, don't hit your brother now, explain to him this and that, and you want to correct. This is wow, you have hit the child. You want to correct. Listen, you're stupid. What's wrong with you? You want something is happening. You're jumping around. What is it? What the hell? Who? I watch my children in their fights. I fold my hands like this, and I watch them, in the chaos or quarrel or fight. I stand and I'm watching. And while I'm watching, provided there's nothing dangerous around them, get it right. Provided there's nothing dangerous around them, they can't fall into a dangerous, maybe weapons like razor blade or something that will injure them is not around them. I watch them in the fight, and sometimes just the eye contact of watching them, everybody separates like, mommy is watching you, mommy is watching you, mommy is watching us. And the fight has stopped. And they will now start within themselves. Why did you hit me? Is it not you that match my book? Is it not you that this did this? And I'm watching. And after they watch, I can walk away. Sometimes I can walk away. I'm walking away not because fight is perfect, but I'm walking away so that the tempo can calm down, and that I take time at another, when the environment is not chaos or chaotic, and to explain to you what you should have done. And I use myself as an example, telling you how I stood and I was watching you. So when we flare up and jump up and down, we are also telling them that when problem comes up, hey, oh, you cannot communicate, you cannot dialogue. We live in a country today where dialogue has become an impossible thing, very impossible, because we were not raised or we were taught to get it by force. There's nothing that forceful control can ever achieve, nothing. What forceful control can achieve are negative, all negative. It can achieve rebellion, it can achieve revengefulness, it can achieve reactivity, it can achieve resentful. And that's why we live in a country where different ethnic groups are resenting at each other, fighting at each other. There's no dialogue for anything. There's no dialogue. This has been there. It's been there because we were raised to always attack, 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 So it starts from the home. I found it long ago that brutality actually starts from the home. Brutality, it starts from the home. When we are not able to share something without attacking the next person, without judging the next person, without making the next person feel bad. And I ask people, how did we get here? That we always think for you to make a child feel good, you make the child feel bad first. The child will cry first. You shout and do all of that before you now make the child to feel good. All of those things are affecting, or are registering in the part of the child's brain called the hippocampus, which is responsible for keeping memories. is registering. So I want you to understand today that the major factor behind your yelling and shouting and not able to control yourself, hitting the child at every slightest provocation, shouting, and all of that, these chaotic ways of raising children hinges on your inability to maintain calmness because you don't have emotional intelligence. You're not emotionally stable, you're not emotionally intelligent. So, this emotional intelligence is one thing you must have as a parent for you to parent effectively and parent with peace, parent with joy, parent with calmness. Because the whole essence of all these things we want to do is for us to get our children close to us, build relationship that is solid with them, so that such that they can confide in us to share with us whatever thing they are going through, and we'll be in the right position to guide them. Because the moment they are not seeing us as their confidant, they will never ever come back to us. No matter what it is they are going through, they won't come back to us. And then by the time you'll be able to, you're getting to know what is happening, your child is almost out of your hand. Yesterday, I had a session with a parent who I also understand that place. Her 13-year-old um, got himself neck deep in pornography, and the mother actually found him masturbating. Now, while I was sharing with the parents, I told I told the mother that why your child couldn't come back to you to share the signs here is already having. Of course, we know that in this part of the world, sexual education is, I'm just digressing so that you can understand the place of confidence and confidence for our children. Sexual education or sex conversations is always a myth, so we don't get to talk about them until when we see something going overboard or getting wrong. That's when we start running up and down. The child whom I told her to get, before the session started yesterday, 2 3 weeks ago, I gave her assignments to do, and I told her, get back to your child, ask him this questions, ask him that questions, and you get to know how and when. She said, no, it's just that week last week. I said, no, it didn't start last week. Something transpired, and see what must have transpired, see what must have transpired. So get back with these questions and find out. The boy is 13. And by the time we started the first session yesterday, she found out that the son started watching porn at 9. At 9. He was close to 10 then, but he has not completed 10th year birthday, as at the time. So she was just confirming all that I shared with her 3 weeks ago before we started the session yesterday. But she didn't know all of that. She couldn't come to the picture because the child is not seeing her or seeing him, because even the woman said the father the father was so angry with him and all of that. Because your child knows that mom is going to shout, mom is going to start all this. I know at a time when my children were always saying, Mom, I don't want that you're shouting. My daughter was less than 5. And Mommy, I don't want that you're shouting. Mom, I don't want that shouting. And when the brother came, it became worse. The brother tells me at every slightest minute, Mom, I don't want shouting. In fact, that one tunes out immediately. The moment you just say, boy, oh boy, what's wrong? He will just snap out. And later in my happy moments, when I start saying, but you did this, say, Mom, but you were shouting at me. So children, it doesn't go down with them because they see it as a threat. It creates fear for children. Yelling and shouting is threat for children. It creates fear. It makes them, run to flight or be in a flight mood. For children who are not, like strong-willed like mine, they go back in their shell. So when every other higher things that will come up as they grow comes up, they will never share with you. They won't. Never is the word. They will never. At 10, at 11, your child is already snipping out of your hand and getting closer to, of course, their peers, their friends in school, hearing more from them and all of that, and internalizing those ones. Because he knows that if he tells mommy, if he tells daddy, daddy will just flog the hell out of me. No. So when we think that children don't know anything and they don't know anything, I laugh at that ignorance, because not even your 1 year old, not even your baby, 2 3 months. Like I shared yesterday, as you're not seeing your babies, we mothers, as you smile at the baby smiles back. The baby smiles back. Yes, Jane. Yelling creates fear. We are coming to the fear part tomorrow. By the time we're looking at the brain science, we'll go deeper in that. So by the time your small toddler looks at you, smiles, smiling at him, not toddler, your small baby in your palm, as you're carrying him and or her, and you're smiling, the baby is also smiling, looking at you, smiling back. So who told you that your child does not understand? Your child does not know this. Your child does not know that because they are toddlers. Who told you that? So it's an error, and we say these things out of ignorance, and I understand that. So until you come to the place of knowledge, you may make a mess of everything you're doing. You may make a mess of everything you're doing as a parent. So your good intention is not enough. You need knowledge to be on board, on top of your parenting game. And that's why our name is the proactive parents. You must be proactive about what you need to do. Don't wait for things to get wrong before you start running up and down. Don't wait for things to get wrong. One of the things we do in the Build Your Home Tribe program, which we run annually, is that we help parents to dig deeper in why their emotions are not stable. In one of the courses, in one of the modules we do in the Build Your Home Tribe, we help you to dig deeper why your emotions are not stable. And we look at your upbringing and all the other things that constitute why your emotions are not stable, and we take it up from there. And do go through the healing process and all the things you need to go through. 7 steps of transformation, 7 steps of getting healing, 7 steps of getting trauma healing, and then help you to become calm so that you can walk through all your goals for the year. Because what we do primarily is to create goals, create parenting goals with your purpose, with your vision, your family vision, and walk through it all through the year. So this is one of the things we do in the Build Your Home Tribe. So don't think that your child does not know because he's 1, he's 2. They know he's registering. So we are going to share the assessment check today on this topic on why we are reactive, and take a look at some of the things we put in the check, and also walk through it while we are giving answers to it. Remember, after this challenge for these 5 days, we'll be walking through, and we'll do a support group. We'll all be in a group where we'll work for the 1 month to see the changes that have happened, what you have done so far, and what you're able to do and what you're not able to do. And then we'll help you also to put it together to be able to be in a process of learning this thing within the next 1 month. And then we launch you out to the family, and then you continue the with all that we have shared. Of course, we have a no yelling guide. We have a no yelling guide which we have put together. You can also get that guide after the challenge, so that it will help you look into it, read, go through over and again all that you need to know about yelling. Is a very rich guide. I'm trying to do a revise, some, how is it touch now, finishing touches on it. I made that guide actually without putting down some new researches. So I did a revised of it, and it's coming out, God willing, by next week. So you can also get that guide after this challenge, so that while you're going through daily, you read, you remind yourself, all of the things you're reading will help you to stay focused and stay on course. So thank you very much, everybody that joined me. I can see up to 7 or 8 of us here. And Jane, you've been the one putting down for us. So keep being our class rep for this challenge. Thank you very much, Jane, for being here again today. We'll see you again tomorrow by the grace of God, 9 a.m. also. Look at your assessment check. Give me the answers to it. Let's start working and looking at these things holistically, because we don't just want to do it yelling, shouting. It's normal, this and that. We want to look at it deeper than we just see it, so that we can see where our problems are coming from and understand how to respond and not react, so that our children can run back to us if anything gets whether it gets strong or get anything they want, they can come back to us and get the right answers from us, and not drilling and getting the answers that will make them also, move away from what your values are, or what your purpose, their purpose in life are. Because the moment a child starts drilling, he will definitely get into the wrong hands, that starts instigating the wrong values in their head. So thank you very much for being here. God bless all of us. We'll see you again tomorrow by the grace of God. You have an amazing, amazing Tuesday. Do not forget also that our Tuesday live comes up by 1 p.m. today. Our in our Facebook group, of course, and the YouTube channel, so you can be any of them, anywhere, to catch us at 1 p.m. so that we can share. We have a topic that is also gearing towards this while we are doing this challenge. So be there at 1 p.m. and invite all the parents in your circle in our community group so that we can all learn together. You don't know what you're doing to families by helping them also get this knowledge. So we can also, because once we are not equipped, we can't equip our children. But the moment you get the right knowledge, you can give the children the right knowledge. God bless you. See you by 1 p.m. again. You have an amazing day.